Alright, ladies and gentlemen, here's the last part, which is to take the roof, export all the parts into separate parts, then put them on our laser cut file. So here we go. You're going to go up to solid bodies, and you will have probably maybe less than 6, more than 6. A lot of you probably have more than 6. You're going to click on the first one. You're going to hold Control on the keyboard, and you're going to click on the other ones. So you have every single of the solid bodies selected. You're going to right click on any of them, and you're going to select Make Components. Then in here, you're just going to click, hold Control, and click on each one again. Target assembly location. Here, you want to make sure you're putting this in a folder for your house. So I'm going to make sure that it doesn't go everywhere. So I'm going to make sure that I have a laser cut folder here. And I'm going to hit save. So this is where it's going to save all these different parts. I'm going to select next. It will take a second to figure out what it's going to do. It's going to bring all the bodies. And you can see here, if you want, you can change their names if you need to. I'm just going to leave them as is because that's fine for me. And I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. And it generates an assembly with all of these parts, just like that. So to go about this, same as before, you're just going to take a piece, right click, open it. If it doesn't show up right away, you can double click the mouse wheel and there it'll be there. So now I'm going to go into my cut file here, base, and if it doesn't show up right away, I can kind of move this to the end and make sure my cut file is next to my solid part file. Let's go base again. Here it is. Change that to 48, and I will maneuver this around. Let's see here. Hit OK. Yes, that's OK. And I will have my first part of my roof done. So I'll go back to my assembly. It's important that you're on the assembly. This part. I don't need 2. Done with 2. So now I'm here with 3. Open 3. Double click the mouse wheel, there it is. Go back to my laser cut folder, and again, gotta change this to 48. And I don't want to waste space here, so I can cut this maybe a different way. Put this up here. Hit OK. OK. And so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put the rest of these on. I am going to have to create a new sheet because I don't think I'm going to be able to get the front and back. Those might have to be on a separate piece. Okay, so now I have sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3, looking pretty good. Next, I'm going to go up to File, Export, PDF, and I can save this in this folder again. I want to make sure I click Options, and I select all sheets. Yours will be default on current sheet. Make sure you select all sheets. Hit OK. Hit Save. And this is going to create a PDF of all these different sheets that we can then open up and we can manipulate. So the next part is to close down Autodesk Inventor and open up Illustrator. So on your computer, you're going to type in ILLUS. You should find Adobe Illustrator. You're going to go ahead and click on this. Once it opens, I will start again. Alright, you have no experience in this program, but that is fine. It's only a few buttons to click and things to save. Once Adobe Illustrator opens, you're going to go up to File, Open. You are going to go to your folder in which you saved all of your information and find that PDF. Go ahead and hit Open. And it's going to ask you what page do you want to bring in. We're just going to go in order here. So we'll start with page 1, then we'll open up page 2 and page 3 and do what we need to do. So with page 1, I'm going to go ahead and hit Open. And it shows up. If you want to zoom out, just hold let's see here. Hold Alt on the keyboard. Alt is next to spacebar, and then you can use the mouse wheel to zoom out. So next, what I'm going to do is I want to make sure that I'm in this tool called the Selection tool. And I'm just going to highlight everything. Well, what happened is it's actually just going to select a box around it. We're going to right click. We're going to go and do something called Release Clipping Mask. Once we do that, these are all now separate lines. But right here at the corner, you can click on that new box and you can hit the delete key on your keyboard. You get rid of that. Now we just have all these separate path lines in which we can use for different things. We need to do a little bit of editing here to get this to work. For example, this little part right here is a box, but we don't want it to cut out that line right there, that line. So we need to get rid of it. But problem is, when I click on this, this is actually selecting an entire rectangle. So if I hit delete, well, that goes away. So there's a couple different ways. I think the easiest way is actually if we do delete it, and then we can go up here and we can select something called the pen tool. And if you bring the pen tool down, you can click, and then you can drag a line over, and you can click at that intersection. Hit escape, and that should look good. So I'm going to hit that selection tool. We're going to look at if there's any other problem areas. Right here's another problem area. So if we click that, we've got a little issue with this right here. So we're going to see here what we can do. Alright, so what I can do here is I can zoom in a bit, and I can take this anchor point and I can kind of move it right there. So that's kind of connected. And if I just kind of click this line, and I kind of want to get rid of that anchor point that's sitting there, I can hit the delete key. And I'm using the direct selection tool to do this. And then I'm just going to kind of move things back so it looks good. There's a little funkiness going here. I'm not going to worry about it too much. But this is my pretty much good to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to File, Save As, and under the file type I'm going to save this as an SVG. And I'm going to change this name to Laser Cut 1 because I'm going to end up having 3. You could have 4. Could be a lot of different things. So I'm going to go ahead and hit Save. Everything looks good there, so I'm going to hit OK and save that as an SVG. Now what you want to do is do that with the rest of your parts. I'll go through one more so you can kind of see how to do it. If you feel confident, then you're fine. I'm going to close out of this. File, open. I'm going to open that PDF again. This time I'm going to click this little arrow to go to number 2. Hit OK. I am going to grab this big tool, highlight everything, right click, release clipping mask, delete the box that's around it so there's no issues. Looks like I don't have to repair anything on this one, so I'm going to go to File, Save As, and again I'm going to call this Laser Cut 2 and make sure the type as SVG. Hit Save, OK, and that one's good. So again, I'm just going to do the last one, might as well. Open up the PDF, grab that last one, hold Alt, scroll wheel, zoom out, highlight everything, right click, release clipping mask, click on that edge, delete it. Everything here looks good. File, Save As, save this as Laser Cut 3. Okay. So now I have all of my parts. I am ready to go, and we can end up taking these over to the laser cutter and laser cutting all of these out. Alright, that's it.